Black Class 11. Today I will start with a new chapter, that is sovereignty. So this chapter is quite interesting, and it's quite you can make it out because right from the beginning of my session with you, like I have been talking about sovereignty. Okay, so let's understand what is sovereignty. So, concepts in module, like I have divided these chapters into three main subtopics. First one will understand what is the meaning of sovereignty with definitions, characteristics, and kinds of sovereignty. So these are the three important subtopics that we will discuss in this module. Now, let's talk about meaning definitions of sovereignty. The term sovereignty is derived from a Latin word superanus, meaning supreme. So, I have been giving you the meaning, that is supreme authority, supreme power, right? So, sovereignty is derived from a Latin word that is superanus, meaning supreme. It denotes supreme and final authority above and beyond which no legal power exists. Okay, I'll mark my sentence that this is the one of the most important meaning. Okay, it denotes supreme and final authority above, and beyond which no legal power exists. There is no legal power beyond sovereignty. Okay, because any state has four elements, that is population, that is territory, and the government, and sovereignty. Sovereignty becomes very much important in these four elements because it is supreme. Okay, no one is above this sovereignty. Okay, so this is the definition or meaning definition of sovereignty. So moving forward in the same accord, sovereignty implies that no other state or political authority can regulate the state from within or outside the territory. So sovereignty means that a state is there, and it has state has political authority also. State has a political authority. Political means political related to. So political means like it is a power, like it is a power held by political entity, entity political entity to require actions and claim obedience. So obedience. Okay, so the what happened is that sovereignty implies that no other state or political authority can regulate the state from within or outside the territory. So apart from state, there is no other organ, okay, no other element that regulates the so now outside its territory, because it's very important that state should be run, or state has the upper hand, and sovereignty is one of the basic postulates that gives a leverage over the state and regulates it in a legal term. Now, sovereignty dimensions and definition. So meaning of term sovereignty can be understood by studying its dimensions or aspects. So to understand the definition or a meaning of sovereignty, one need to understand about its dimension. So the dimensions are internal sovereignty and external sovereignty. Okay, there are two dimensions to understand the definition. Okay, number one is internal sovereignty, and the number two is external sovereignty. So internal sovereignty means what? Internal sovereignty, the supreme power of all people in whole of the territory of the state, is known as is internal sovereignty. It is not is, it is internal sovereignty. Okay, it is related to internal sovereignty. The supreme power over all the people in the whole of its territory of a state is known as internal sovereignty. Internal sovereignty is like that, the power, if this is one state, okay, and this is other state, other country, etc., And whatever the thing, the supreme power of supreme power over the people of the whole of the territory, whatever the people are there, under that one, the internal sovereignty is the power to, like, power to power over all the people of within that territory is called internal territory. State has authority to command obedience and punish the offenders. So whatever the things, whatever the people are there, people need to abide the rules and regulations set by the state, that is sovereignty. So the state has authority to command as well as punish the offenders also, that is called internal sovereignty. So external sovereignty means, it means sovereign equality of all states. It means sovereign equality of all states. So equality external, no, this is internal. Now this is external, that it sees that all countries are equal. Okay, each state is independent to act its role. Each state is independent to act its role and secure its national interest in international arena. So in the beginning of my session I have discussed national interest also. Okay, kindly remember or kindly see back what is national interest. Okay, so external sovereignty means that each state, these state B and state C has their own goals, own national interest to achieve. Okay, that looks after. So external sovereignty is this one. So definition, let's understand the definition now. First, according to Gettle, okay, what is called external sovereignty is in reality the totality of rights by which sovereignty manifests itself in dealing with each other state. The Gettle has says that whatever the external sovereignty is in really, it is considered as a total rights by which sovereignty manifests in dealing with the other states. Okay, so it is a given, it is given by the sovereignty, and whatever the reality that is there or a right that is utilized by different states, or dealing with those other states. According to Jean Bodin, now the second definition, sovereignty is a supreme power of a state over citizens and subjects unrestrained by law. So what Jean Bodin has said, Jean Bodin says that sovereignty is supreme power of the state. Supreme power of whose state? Upon whom citizens, subjects and unrestricted law. Under the eyes of law, every person is equal, and according to his or her act, one can get punishment or one can get justice also. Okay, so characteristics of sovereignty. So there are 7 characteristics of sovereignty. Number 1 is originality, number 2 is permanence, absoluteness, exclusiveness, comprehensiveness, inalienability and imprescriptibility. So let's understand one by one. What is originality? Sovereignty is the original power of a state. Sovereignty is an original power of state that is neither delegated by any state nor derived from a source. Sovereignty is original. It is not given by others, okay, but it is derived it is not derived from any source. It is very original, authentic. Okay, so sovereignty is the original power of whose state. Okay, it is neither deleted or not derived from any source. Second is permanence. Sovereignty is permanent. It lasts as long as state's life. Sovereignty is permanent because state is there, then sovereignty is there. The change in the government merely transforms it into the next bearer. If the government is changed, sovereignty will not change. Okay, it does not change according to the government. Sovereignty of the state is, now let's talk about absoluteness. Sovereignty of the state is absolute from legal point of view. No one can challenge the supreme authority of state. So it is legal, it is very much absolute. Internal sovereign power has control over all within the state, means control over all within the states, right from population, right from its people, citizens, in whatever they do, actions, etc. Okay, state itself can fix its limits on sovereignty. So state is all state can demarcate what are the limitations of sovereignty. Now let's understand exclusiveness. State alone has sovereign authority and legitimate power to command citizens' obedience. Now, exclusiveness means state has a power of what? Sovereign authority to what? Legitimate its power to like full, to fulfill its power over their citizens. It is very exclusive and it has the ultimate authority. Okay, in every state there is one sovereign who exercises it. In every state, one sovereign means one leader who exercises it. That is, it can be president, it can be prime minister, it can be chief minister, etc., or it can be king also. Okay, so he is the person who has a command over its citizen. Now, comprehensiveness. Sovereignty of a state is all inclusive, all comprehensive power of a state. State exercises it over its citizens groups within its territory also. However, a state can accept limitations or it on its sovereignty voluntarily. However, a state can accept limitations on its sovereignty and voluntary. So it is very comprehensive, because state exercises its control over the citizens and within which are bound in the territory, as well as state also can put certain limitations voluntary. Okay, inalienability. Sovereignty of a state cannot be given away without destroying the state. It cannot, the sovereignty is cannot be destroyed. If the state is destroyed, then sovereignty is also destroyed, but it is very hard job. Okay, a state cannot be vanished in a blink of eyes. Okay, it is inalienability. It cannot be destroyed. Imprescriptibility means even when the state does not exercise sovereignty for some time, it remains with it. So the whatever the things it is there, the power of sovereignty will remain there, even for a long period of time. If a state does not exercises it's the power of sovereignty, but it is there, it does not vanish. Okay, non-use of sovereignty by the state. Non-use of sovereignty by the state is not the end of its sovereignty. So if a state is not using the power of sovereignty, it does not mean that the sovereignty has ended. It does not mean that sovereignty has ended. It is there and it will be there. And the other topic is kinds of sovereignty. There are like seven kinds of sovereignty. Nominal sovereignty, real sovereignty, de jure sovereignty, de facto sovereignty, legal sovereignty, political sovereignty, and popular sovereignty. So nominal sovereignty means the other name is titular sovereignty. It refers to the sovereign who is only a nominal head without any real powers. So nominal or titular sovereignty. Now nominal head means in India we have president as well as prime minister. So president is nominal, whereas prime minister has real powers, because nominal means what, like just for namesake, but real, all the things are done by prime minister. Okay, not president. So in a state there can be two nominal sovereignty that refers to the sovereign means as a person who is only nominal head without real powers. Real sovereignty exercises his sovereign power himself. President of America is a head of a state and exercise the real executive. So real president or president of USA, what it is says that president of USA, everything whatever the decisions has to be taken, it has to be taken by president of United States, and he has a real power. Okay, Now, de jure sovereign is a legal sovereign. De jure sovereign is a legal sovereign. He has a legal right. He has a legal right to command obedience. De jure sovereign becomes nominal ruler when a new ruler de facto rules after a coup. So it is like you need to understand a small tidbits and bits about what is coup. Okay, so this coup comes from a word that is coup d'etat. The original name is coup d'etat. Coup d'etat. So the coup d'etat is a violent, like it can be violent, or we can say that seizure and removal of government. Seizure and removal of government, seizure or removal of government. It can be done like uh, throwing off existing government, throwing off existing government by military. It can be violent also. So this what happens means de jure sovereign becomes nominal. Nominal means though he or she don't have a real power. Okay, when a new de facto rules after a coup d'etat. So whenever, if country, like if a country is there, okay, so due to certain reasons military takes over, that is called a coup. Okay, so coup d'etat. So then de facto de jure becomes nominal. Then after the de facto sovereign rest in the actual sovereign whom people actually obey through he may not have a legal status. This means whatever the person be, okay, he has a supreme authority, and that supreme, or under that supreme authority, what happens, that person or citizens obey that particular person, even though he don't have any legal status, that is de facto. This kind of situation arises when change of ruler come through revolt or a coup. Okay, how this kind of situation comes now, in Afghanistan we are having a problem. Okay, Taliban has take over to Afghanistan. What happens then? Afghanistan president was there. Now he don't have any power, he became just like his no power is there. Okay, so after de facto comes for after the person change of person or a ruler, that comes from revolt or coup. So this is one of the most important things that you need to understand. Okay, de facto and de jure is quite similar and quite not similar, it's quite slightly like 45 degrees different. So in such situation new ruler comes forcefully to replace the duly elected sovereign. So it's the same thing. Now, legal sovereign, supreme law making body in state is described as legal sovereign. What is called supreme law making body of a state is called as a legal sovereign. Its commands are law. The parliament of the two countries are considered as a legal sovereign. Parliament, in parliament there are lawmaking body, legislative, executive, right? These lawmaking body is called as a supreme legal sovereign, because parliament is a place where talks, debates are taken place to execute, to pass different kinds of bill, and that bill becomes a law. So parliament of the two countries are considered as a legal sovereign. In England, the king in the parliament, and India the president of parliament are the legal sovereign. Okay, political sovereignty. It's well known that in under democratic states, as it is unorganized and incapable of expressing itself, in representative democracy, the political party the political path with majority in the parliament is obvious political sovereignty. What we'll call in on democratic state, there is no organized one, and there is no incapable of expressing their views and ideas. Okay, but in representative democracy is those democracy where we elect our own representative. Okay, and they have a full right to express their views in the parliament, and that is called political sovereignty. Popular sovereignty, it refers to the people as a source of all authority in the state. Okay, ps the authority is in the hands of state. Government exists only as a tool for the good of the people, and it should be held directly responsible for the people. So in popular sovereignty, what happens? People have their authority. People have the authority of the state, and it refers to the people as a source of authority. It will also, if will of the people is ignored, revolution can take place. Then what happened? Whatever the will, whatever the people demand, if this is ignored, then what happened? Revolution takes place. So in popular sovereignty, what happens? The main authority is in the hands of the people. So I have completed the chapter sovereignty. Please compile your notes, and you need to work on with your solving your question answers also. Till then, stay safe and take care.